perfect example of the idea that there is multiple modes of communication. In particular, we're going to be working on the mode of visual rhetoric. That's why we read Scott McCloud. And then we are also going to be looking at speech as a form of rhetoric. And then we're also looking at text. And by text, again, I mean alphabetic text. So how these all go together into one organization or one kind of message is kind of the focus that I want you to think about. That how you use your speech, your visuals, and your text together to communicate a complex message in an incredibly short amount of time. I'm seeing that this video here is 4 minutes and 15 seconds long already, which I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible, and that connects to what we're going to do with the format of the PowerPoint. I'm intentionally making this challenging and making it as simple as possible for everybody by limiting. You have 3 minutes and you have 12 slides. And each of those slides is for 15 seconds. This is a format borrowed from Ignite. Isn't my math right there? 12 times 15 is 180. Yeah. This is what's called an Ignite PowerPoint presentation, where you're trying to communicate a complex issue in a really quick amount of time. So the number one question I get from students, which I love on this, is, Sean, I've just been researching my topic for 6 hours a week for the last 3 weeks. I've got 18 hours of research and information. How on earth am I going to communicate 16 hours of information into 3 minutes? And that's where I smile and say, awesome. Yeah, this is challenging, because we are working on what Scott McCloud says is we are basically trying to amplify our message through simplification. I.e., I want you to get to the bare bones of your entire paper for yourself as a writer, but also for your audience, and as a way for you to be able to market that you have had the experience in communicating complex messages to different audiences with really intense time crunches. So what this is going to look like, the other thing you can say is that you're having to be very selective about what you choose and what you do not, what you choose and what you don't choose. So there's no way you're going to communicate all of these 16 hours of your research. You really are just going for what is the exact most basic things that you can say. And so you can kind of time this, but basically what this is going to look like, I would consider, and why I want you to kind of hand draw these, is you get a sense of what it's going to look like. And you can start imagining how much time you have on each slide. And then that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this presentation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So basically, let's see how it goes. Begin 7:30. Okay, so my first slide, I'm going to go over potentially what my initial inquiry question is and show you a kind of hook that's going to get you involved in why this is such a big issue. And I'm going to have a picture of a baby crying here. Okay, why this is important, the big exigence. I want to talk more about the baby crying. Whoa boy, he's crying, and this is why he's crying. He's got an arrow in his face. Okay, when I looked this up, I found some interesting research on the origin of arrows that are attacking babies' faces. This one actually comes from a plant in Wisconsin, and Okay, and therefore I have the title of my essay is going to be Eliminating Baby Arrows. And this slide, I'm actually just going to use text because that's good for that. And my audience for this essay, my target audience for my essay is going to be this Wisconsin plant that I've found. This is their logo and a picture of Wisconsin. Oh boy, okay, and the claim, what they need to do, the thesis for my essay is going to be that they are going to need to consult with blank to do this and change their practices of making arrows. Well, why do they want to do that? The first reason is that this is ultimately going to save them money because these lawsuits from baby arrows is really going to be a big problem for them, and they need to change that. My next reason is that there's an ethical reason. So I'm going to put a picture of a scale here. Oh boy. And it's important because of that also. And my third reason is this thing, whatever that is. Okay, and then, however, they very well might say that the counter argument is that this is unrealistic. So I'm going to put a shrugging emoji here, or a ghost. And then, however, and I need to say, they say this because, so I'm going to need a claim with reasons here. And then I'm going to respond to that counter argument by saying there is an example of what they can do. In fact, in the state of Wyoming, it's changed dramatically. And then for my final thing, I have my questions for the class is that I'm wondering whether or not my third reason made sense, or should I just drop it? Okay, that was 3 minutes. You obviously aren't going to just draw these out in real time. Like, you're going to have a presentation, each one of these, and you probably have seen you can print out a PowerPoint page, or you can print out a PowerPoint presentation that looks like this, where it has each of the slides. So if this is the picture of a baby head with an arrow in it, where did I get that example? Then I would have some descriptions over here to say, you know, this is what I'm going to be talking about during this slide. And then on this one is my picture of whatever this is. This is the building where they make the arrows. I don't know. And then I have this. This is what I want you to draft and think about for Friday, so that you can have somewhat of an idea of what you're going to say for the PowerPoint. Okay, so where does this leave us? For Friday, what you're working on, this is this Friday, 4/17. You're trying to just do two things. You're trying to outline your essay, and it can be a draft. Obviously, we're doing this so soon so that you can identify what you need and where you need it. And then I'm also going to ask that you put together your citations. Citations. So you should put all the citations from your research, if you haven't already done that, and put them on one document so we can kind of see, and you can kind of see what you're working with. And then you are going to actually do some kind of a hand-drawn picture. These pictures do not need to be good. I am not going to grade the drawing aptitude. They should just have somewhat of an idea. Why I like this example is you might want to choose some slides that don't have very many images on them, just so they have a nice, so you're emphasizing the text on this slide, but when I do the inquiry hook, I just want a picture with no text on this slide. Because again, one of our goals for this that we're working on is to whether or not how well we can integrate visuals, speech, and text.